Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All righty, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show here at the Patio. We are live. We'll be here until 7 o'clock. It's our Friday football happy hour brought to you by White Claw. Peter, great job setting everything up. We got a great shot here behind us. A bunch of lunatics going to join us, hopefully.
I love it.
On the now infamous fan mic that we had last week. That was insane. We had Timothy and Jack and a couple other. Jack Meoff. I don't know what. Stopped by last week, and it was outstanding. So hopefully we'll have a lot of participants. People can participate on the phones as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Wind me up. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255.
Did you see that food just go by?
0391. That food looks really good right now.
Fantastic.
I feel like I should do this. I gotta do it one more. I gotta do it one time so Tim doesn't scream at me. Don't turn off this streaming app here. There you go.
Let everybody know we're here.
Absolutely. We got to do that here on the JP Peterson Show live from the Patio. So
we got a great crowd here today.
Yeah.
The weather is beautiful. It's like 70 degrees out here.
Can it stay like this forever?
Oh, please.
Honestly, can it do that?
We're
please?
underneath the palm trees. So we got $4 White Claws, $4 White Claw vodka drinks.
Yeah.
Beautiful, great food over here in the food truck.
Yeah.
The wings are amazing. We're going to talk football for 2 hours. You can come down and join us. We have the fan mic right over here. You can join us. Say any mess you want to. You want to talk some Gator BS. You want to talk some FSU BS.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't work.
There you go. You want to talk some Bucks BS?
Yes.
You were just having a conversation with the great Dave Canales.
I was. Yes, we were talking about the struggling offense, and he emphasized in so many words we need to work on that running game.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the Atlanta game, and I feel good about this week for some reason. I know we were both smiling
in the. We're playing the worst team in football
with all the injuries that they have too.
They're starting their fourth center.
Yes,
that guy's got to be like fresh out of high school. The fourth center. I mean, can you imagine? We're down to our second center, and it's awful.
Right.
Imagine if it was our fourth center. Actually, our third center. Nick Lever would probably be better.
Well, it probably would be.
Second center.
That's the reason you may make some changes.
For some reason.
We were talking about the offensive line, too, consequently.
Yeah. So, what did he say about that?
You
give me anything on the record?
Little bit injury there, here and there. But, yeah, we'll keep that for later because I did get his information. So the future is bright. Keep on tuning in here to the JP Peterson Show. And, of course, the sports one, because you never know who's going to come on and be interviewed. Bucks coaches, and
we're going to have Dave Canales on today anyway.
Oh, yeah.
The press conference he gave.
Well, sure.
But
I'm talking about, face-to-face here.
One-on-ones.
Yes.
Let's bring it on. Absolutely.
Let's do it. And we got the camera and the equipment to do it. This is the reason why you got it. So
let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into it as we get ready for this football weekend. And obviously the number one game on everyone's mind, the Buccaneers at the Houston Texans. The Texans are down, I believe, from the beginning of the season, 4 starting offensive linemen. They've lost I think four are already on IR.
Mm-hmm.
Laramie Tunsil is probably going to play, but on one bad leg. On their fourth center,
Right.
C.D. Stroud, I don't know how he's even standing, but he's had some pretty good production from a data standpoint if you look at the numbers. But that was earlier in the season. Like last week, it was terrible, and they lose to the Panthers.
Right.
It's a week-to-week league, as we well know. So some of these stats can be skewed when you're looking at the entire season. But this week, if the Bucs don't have 4 to 6 sacks, they're not trying.
Well, you would think.
Or they're really bad.
I mean, this has got to be the week. This has got to be the week where your defensive line shows up with all these injuries. And, again, that's why I think you would feel good about this matchup. But you talk about Stroud, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. You know, with all those offensive line injuries for a rookie quarterback, he's done a great job. And the Texans overall, you know, having a new coach, new system, everything like that, they've done a very good job when it comes to turnovers and taking care of the ball. So maybe this is Todd Bowles' week where, I don't know, it's the old cliche, right, JP? You pin your ears back if you're the defensive line. You get after a rookie quarterback. You blitz them until you can't stand up. You cause some of those turnovers, and maybe you play some complimentary football by getting off the field on third down, if you will.
What I don't want to see, and I think what Bucs fans are absolutely sick of seeing, is this soft zone defense that is giving up the highest completion percentage in football, is terrible on third down.
Yeah.
Bucs can't get off the field.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. You have a team that cannot run the football, so it's hard to sustain drives at times, and can't score in the red zone because they can't run the football. You got to be able to get a few yards in the red zone and have the threat of running the football in order to be effective in the red zone. So they don't have that. Their red zone defense has been fantastic, and their turnover margin is terrific, as you mentioned. They have the number one defense in terms of takeaways per drive, which if you're leading the league in that stat 9 times out of 10, you have a winning record.
Right.
To lead the league in that stat and to be so good in turnover margin and to be sub 500 means you're not a very good football team.
No.
In a lot of different ways.
Right.
Because should be the equalizer. If the red zone defense wasn't as good as it is, then I doubt they'd even have 3 wins.
Correct.
So, but you credit them. They're the ones that have put that out there. So that's part of the stats that you have to consider. Now, could you bank on that all year long? I'm going to say no.
Right.
But that's why you got to start getting better in other areas. And how do you get better? Guys either have to improve, you have to change your scheme, or you have to change the personnel. And judging from the lack of action at the trading deadline,
which is disappointing.
Yep. It doesn't seem like the Bucs are going to do anything. Any of that stuff. Obviously, the deadline is passed, so they're not making any moves.
No.
Which is like, okay, we're good. I don't get that.
We're good. We're okay. We're good. We got what we got.
Right. I think you need to improve. And listen, I know there's not a ton of deals that were out there to be had, but Chase Young is one. I've talked about this on the morning show. The 49ers got him for a third-round pick, conditional third-round pick, or the third compensatory, not conditional, compensatory pick, which is what you're going to get back if he goes somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically renting him, and the Commanders are paying most of his salary, so it wouldn't really cost you any money. It's not my money anyway. So you could have gotten that guy to spark a pass rush that has been really non-existent. I mean, is he better than JTS? Yeah. Is he better than Yaya Diaby? Yeah. Is he better than Shaq Barrett? Yeah. Is he better than Anthony? Yeah. I mean, you go down. No, but he's been injured, and why would you're not risking anything.
Right.
You're not risking anything. So, what a great deal the 49ers made. What a fantastic deal.
One side you've got Chase Young, and the other you got Joey Bosa. Do you think John Lynch is going for the Super Bowl at the end of the day? Of course he is. You're trying to. And people go, well, the Bucs aren't in the Super Bowl conversation. Okay, that's all well and good. But you want
to improve your team?
Right.
You want to win the division?
And who's to say, like, if Chase Young doesn't fall, because you can fall in love with the weather here, you can fall in love with this organization. Because they're going to pay you. They would pay him if he's productive. And he's playing his best football.
Look, he's had a lot of injury issues. Are you gonna, are you breaking the bank for him? No. But if he comes in here, by the way, you learn what his work ethic is all about.
Correct.
You learn what he's all about.
Right.
He learns what your culture is all about, and let's see if there could be a marriage. If it's just a rental, at least you got, a guy coming in here who's going to give your defense a little bit of juice.
Yeah.
And is a size and speed guy that would stand out on this defense.
I don't understand it. I mean, to me, we've made all these points at this juncture, and
why do you hold on to Devin White?
I don't know.
What, I mean, was there nobody out there, they give you a third-round pick for Devin White?
What did Scott Reynolds say?
$20 million a year.
What did Scott Reynolds say? 7th-round tape. That's what it looks like. And if it looks like that to him, what do you think it looks like to NFL scouts and NFL GMs out there? It's been disastrous.
Well,
he's regressed.
Yes.
He looks out of shape. He's not made an impact on this defense as a defensive leader. Levante David, who's 33 years old, is still the best linebacker on this team. That's saying something.
100%.
That guy deserves an extension over Devin White. And it's disappointing because I know there's a lot of Bucs fans out there and a lot of pundits that thought, you know what? White, what he did in 2020 in that postseason, he should be able to carry on with that. And that should be a catalyst for his development. And it's not there, JP. It's not.
So, and there are reports out there that the Jets or maybe some other teams offered the Bucs a first-round pick for Mike Evans.
But see, you can't take that deal. You know why?
Why?
Because basically, if you take that deal for Mike Evans, even though it's a first-round pick, and I understand where you're coming from, your fan base is going to be upset.
That's true.
You're already having problems with, trying to draw fans already. By the way, I talked to Mr. Canales there. He liked the reel there that I did at the Buffalo Bill Bar, and he liked our post-game show. He couldn't believe it that we were able to put this equipment on the field. So he likes that. He loved that. But you got to draw fans, and then on top of it, you're basically admitting that not only have you given up on this team, you've given up on Baker, you put all the pressure on Baker, Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer, who's a rookie. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, although it was interesting that the Jets are so desperate. But what do the Jets know? I mean, the Jets go through first-round picks like anybody, like socks, like underwear.
Would you take Keon Coleman over Mike Evans next year?
I definitely think you have to consider it, right, with the way he's playing. I mean, in all projections right now, there was a mock draft on CBSSportsline.com that has Coleman with where the Bucs are right now at 13. You take him. You take that kid. 6'4", 218, a mismatch nightmare.
And who knows where the Jets, where that pick would come.
Right.
I don't know which way the Jets season's going to go now that they got,
Zach Wilson.
And of course, Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Right.
From
right. That's going to happen.
Ayahuasca he's smoking.
Oh, I'm telling you.
You know what? Good on him trying to do it and give his team some juice. I love it.
Yeah.
But listen, and I mentioned that. I'm not sitting here saying we should have taken the first round pick. My point is, if you're gonna rebuild for next year, rebuild for next year.
Right.
By the way, if you get a first round pick for Mike Evans, you can still trade him. I mean, you can still sign him when the season's over. Sure. By the way, if he wanted to stay here, and you could just rape the Jets for a first round for half a year rental, when they're going nowhere.
Correct.
And then he could come back and sign with the Bucs anyway to be a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, but beyond that. My point is, you're in the middle. Yeah. You're not either building towards next year or you did nothing to help your team this year. Do one or the other. What happens if Rachaad White gets hurt? What kind of depth do we have at running back?
Well, you got
now?
the greatness of Keyshawn Vaughn and the greatness of Chase Edmonds, who, by the way, is doing his best Leonard Fournette impression, who, by the way, just signed with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Chase Edmonds the other night running into the back of an offensive lineman. And then Sean Tucker, who I like to see more because I've seen enough of Keyshawn Vaughn. I've seen enough of Chase Evans. I want to see this young kid play. I want to see what he's got.
Listen, I'm just absolutely terrified if Rachaad White goes down because Rachaad actually showed some burst.
Yeah.
What we thought he had in the pass game looked really, really good last week. I think the run game got a little better with Aaron Stinney in there because Filer was out. That was good.
Right.
There was some movement up front. I'd like to see some more changes up front. To do something to juice this running game up because it's status quo at this point. And the Texans got to, they're pretty stout up front. I'm not exactly sure how the run game's going to go this week, but I'd like to see a little bit more daylight. Everybody would.
Right.
But if Rachaad White gets hurt, you got no depth, and you didn't go out to get a Rashad Penny. You made no moves in the running game whatsoever at the trade deadline. You could have got that guy for next to nothing.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know if the Eagles
again. It takes this year. Go out and do something. Just stuff that's not going to cost you big,
right?
But gives your fan base a little bit of okay. We're still trying to win this thing.
Correct.
Gives a little juice into your team, which has no juice right now. This team, mean, you go to the locker room after the games. This team it's got no juice. And
Yeah.
I know they've lost games, but I just don't see it. It almost feels like they've lost confidence in their coaching staff.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't they? Because a lot of the stuff that's, you continue to put some of these guys out on the field that aren't getting the job done.
Okay.
And then go into press conferences and basically make excuses for them. I don't know. This team desperately needs a win. If they don't get a win this week, if you lose this game, then you should definitely be looking towards next year.
Is it Kyle Trask time? Is it
yes.
Trask time?
Yes.
All the Gator fans
Hell yes.
rejoice in the corner
Look,
there.
if Baker plays poorly in this game and they lose to the Texans, who lost to the Panthers last week, then yes, it's Trask time. It's time to it's Sebastian Dennis time.
Right.
It's D. Delaney time. Any young player, it's Yaya Diaby time. It's time for every young player to get in there and learn, because you're going nowhere.
No.
You're going nowhere.
No.
And I have no, for any veteran that goes to Houston and loses this game, what do I need? Am I going to protect you and keep sending you out there for what? You're not playing hard enough to even beat the Texans? No, I would send a message to everybody and say everybody's job is on the line. And I would start with the quarterback. Absolutely, 100%.
All right, producing on air, we got J.C. Allen coming on here. So you want to bring him on really quick?
Is he ready to go?
Let me go ahead and give him a call here on the J.P. Peterson phone line.
And do not say it's J.C. Allen of the Pewter Report.
Yes, don't
Do
say
not
that.
say that.
J.C. Allen of Sports Illustrated
That's what
and
you
the
say.
Sick
That's what you
Podcast.
say.
Yes.
Yes.
What's going on, buddy?
How we doing, guys?
Doing good.
We're great. Are you watching this?
When
Look
are you
where
coming
we're-
down to the patio, by
How
the
are
way?
you not here in person?
Getting
I mean, are
some
you
wings.
kidding me?
Right.
I just got out of work. I'm headed home myself now. So yeah,
I've
there's
got
no
wings
patio.
waiting for you. I've got
No
frosty
patio
cold
for me
beer
today.
here for you. I got White Claws for you.
Shots?
Just
You do
with
shots?
shots here waiting for you, and you still sniff
Dude.
us?
Jeez,
It's outrageous.
I didn't know about all that.
That's
man.
outrageous. It's outrageous.
Outrageous. Crazy.
Oh, it'll be here for you next week too. So
Preposterous.
it's just going. It was just get cold while you don't eat it and drink it. So anyway, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's going good.
All right. So your thoughts on the Bucs standing pat at the deadline?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. There's really, $3 million in cap space. You look at what other teams are going to want as far as trade compensation. Light loves his picks. This is always one of those years where, hey, we're going to remain competitive, try to win an NFC South in a downtrodden division, but they weren't going to go out and trade any sort of draft picks for any sort of rentals. And with the with the money they had, they certainly couldn't take on any large contracts. Kind of thought of Chase Edmonds as an acquisition at the deadline, with him coming off of IR. Obviously, didn't do wonders against the Bills, but they have high hopes that he'll be able to contribute going forward. Team is relatively healthy, so they didn't feel like they really need to go out there and make a significant move. And that obviously played out come Tuesday at 4, where there was no moves to be made.
Oh, I think I lost them.
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's a little low. I'm trying to beef up the. Can you turn up his volume a little bit?
Yeah, I turned up his volume.
Okay, cool.
Are you there, JC?
I'm here. Turn up the volume.
Yeah,
Turn
turn up. It's a raucous crowd here. I can barely hear you,
that's
bro.
what it is, and it's the music in the background. We can hear you.
Absolutely.
I got you now. Go ahead.
All right, so I get all those things that you said, and to me, it just feels like this team is now kind of stuck in the middle, not trying to get better this year, not building for next year. So that I'm a little disappointed that they didn't go one direction. And I don't think you can build for next year. I think you're still very much in the hunt. So I would have liked to seen them add a Rashad Penny, maybe go out. I just talked about the Chase Young deal that the 49ers pulled off of basically renting him for nothing. Just something like that to get a little juice for this team, because they certainly need it on the pass rush. Now, I'm also saying, go ahead.
I was going to say, if Chase Young isn't in your future plans, I mean, he's going to command a big contract. That would have been a nice get, but, the Niners were in a luxury position with having 2 extra compensatory third-round picks due to diversity hires. So, they were playing from a position of free money, so to speak, as it was. I thought maybe a move at the tight end position.
Yes.
We heard Denver weren't going to be sellers. Obviously, a big win against Kansas City might have changed some of the things that they were thinking about doing.
Right.
But a guy like Chris Manhertz or an Adam Troutman,
Yes.
one of those guys might, be in the works for maybe a late round pick swap. Nothing just materialized in that sort of fashion either. They weren't interested in a Dalvin Cook. I mean, $7 million, owed $5 million for the rest of the season.
I know. No thanks.
Maybe the Jets would have ate the rest of that contract, but he hasn't looked great himself either. I don't know what that is apart from the system. I don't think, running backs tend to fall off quickly, but I think there's still more juice in Dalvin Cook. They're just maybe not utilizing them properly, but something like that never materialized either for them. So, they have a good team. They have a good roster, and it's so sick and tired of hearing them say, we're close, we're close, we're close. But when you turn on the film,
they're
they
not.
don't themselves with penalties. If, they're not having to play the refs as well. Baker makes some moves. There's some better sequencing and play calling and maybe some better separation by Mike and Chris. I mean, I know those are a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
But they're all right there. They're all right on the cusp of happening. They're just happening at the different times. You get a guy open, there's a penalty. Or Baker won't see it. So, I mean, if they can dial these things in, get them together, they have a good enough team where they don't need an outside acquisition to really, bolster what they have already. I think tight end would have been the big one for me.
Yeah.
If they're going to make a move, just because someone with I would have loved to see Mercedes Lewis on the box with his blocking ability,
Yes.
Just never materialized for him.
We have to go get Anthony Becht.
Why not?
As it is.
Why not? So,
right?
And maybe he'll bring Rocco with him, too.
Well, there you go.
Let's get a 2-for-1, a tight end and a quarterback.
That solves your tight end and your quarterback problem. He's playing great right now for Iowa State. JC, is this the matchup this week that you think the Bucs can take advantage of? I mean, you look at Houston and their offensive line, multiple injuries there. Is this the time not only against a rookie quarterback who hasn't turned over the ball, so maybe he's due for that type of game, and this defensive line can get after him?
Yeah, he's been really, really smart with the ball, not making turnovers. I think when you look at having Vita Vea back against their fourth center of the year, that's definitely a key matchup. They've got to get interior push. I think that'll allow Elijah Cansey to do some things as well. So that will be something to watch on the defensive side. They've got to get better pressure from the edge rushers. They just have to. Until this team starts to prove that they can get home without blitzing, and Stroud is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He's fourth in the league under pressure. They're going to have to continue to play the soft zone coverage, and taking two of your best cornerbacks at what they do best, which is allowing quick, easy, short completions that when they're missing tackles end up being big games. So those things have to change on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, keep doing what you're doing with Rashad White. This is a team that you can do it on. They are not protecting the flat very well. I'm sure they looked at that and will probably game plan against that. But, this is something they haven't defended well all year. I think there's a big opportunity for Rashad White to have, another 70-something yard performance. And it's just clean up the penalties. If they do that, NRG Stadium's not going to be a loud stadium, but it still is indoors, and that noise can echo. And they just got to make sure they're letting go of guys if they're dropping. Not getting stupid holding calls like the one Mock and Palmer got, and just kind of cleaning up that area of the game. And I think they should be fine. I don't think this is a runaway game, but I think it's a get right game, with the possibility of them scoring. I think they score over 20 points.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know if this is
Explosion.
That would be an explosion.
Right.
Going back to
I
New
don't know
Orleans
if
there.
it's a signature win for them yet. I don't think they have that yet. But I do think it's a step in the right direction in the get right game.
See, I think I'm good luck here.
Signature win is over Houston.
Well, I tell you right now, I was talking to Dave Canales today. I think I got some good luck. He told me that they're gonna turn this around. So I'm thinking they're going to turn this around.
Well, then that's a done deal.
That's it.
Why
it's
would
a done
I
deal.
saw that. Where did you see him? Was he at the deck?
Yeah.
Well, he was at
where all the stars
patio.
hang out,
That's
bro.
where we're hanging out. Went up and shook his hand. Showed him our.
Now
our
maybe now that JC knows Canales hangs down here. Now
he's going to come
now
down.
He'll come down.
Right.
No, we weren't big enough for him.
No,
but now that Canales is here.
Not his guy that showed him a lot of what he does today. We're all with JC Allen of Sports Illustrated. I see how it is.
I also don't blame you. I also don't blame you at all. I do the same.
Where is the patio? Is that Armature Works?
No, it's 421 South McDill. So if you're going down Kennedy, just turn south. We're about 3 blocks south on your right. So it's kind of hidden away. It's a hidden gem. That's why that's why the celebs hang out here.
Yep.
It's kind of hidden gem. So you got to know. Just they have this Google machine now. You just put it in your phone.
It's amazing.
Patio.
It's amazing
Google
how that
machine.
works.
And it'll
I'm still using.
turn left. Get a White Claw.
I'm still
Go
using
see
atlases,
Jay.
bro.
Your Google will tell you.
You think Leo uses Google, or you think Leo uses something else?
Leo uses smoke signals, I believe.
No.
And a Rand McNally.
Leo
map.
uses MapQuest, bro. He's using MapQuest still.
I love
You're on
Leo.
map. All right, give me a map quest to how the Bucks
That's great.
not only win this game but make it to the playoffs. Like this, to me, I'm watching this film, JC, and I'm seeing so many mistakes that are being made. And by the way, Baker in the last few weeks has not been good. He's holding the ball. He's not. I'm not saying he's the sole problem. It's not what I'm saying.
No, not
but
at all.
he's got to be better. He's got to be able to see the field better. They're taking away his bootlegs and their waggles. They're not letting him get out of the pocket. I get that. That's how you defend him. So to me, something's got to change. And if
you know
it
what?
doesn't,
Let me go ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the Bucks is to just play fundamentally sound football. Don't beat yourself. And that's what they've been doing, not only on the offensive line with the penalties or, just like missed opportunities, drop balls, Baker not seeing guys that are wide open, progress because he's feeling that pressure that's not there yet. And defensively as well, miscommunication. It's hurt the Bucks in almost every game so far this season, where one guy thinks he's got something, the other guy thinks his responsibility is this. The next thing you know, the guy's behind you for a big gain or a touchdown, and you can almost look at every game and see see how that's happening. At the time being, right now, they're not utilizing Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis. So what they do best is that man coverage, that bump and run. They're playing off the line, and this bend but don't break defense is doing pretty damn well. I mean, they're sixth in the league in points allowed, so they're keeping guys out of the end zone, but they're letting up chunk plays, and part of that reason is technique and fundamentals and tackling. I think that's the biggest thing that can help turn this team around. As for the offense, as we continue to thrive into the season here, that scheme is becoming more secondhand nature instead of think of what I'm doing. Okay, what am I doing on this? What am I doing on that? It's starting to become more second nature for these guys. I think we saw a little glimpse of a better performance in the run game last week. I asked Dave about that at the press conference.
Aaron Stinney.
The mentality's there. It's a little bit more, just react instead of thinking and reacting. So as that continues to happen, I think the run game, I don't think it's going to turn around to like top 10, but certainly out of the bottom of the barrel and maybe into the, low 20s, high teens. I think they can turn it around a bit. Continue utilizing, Rashad White as a passing threat. With this Bucks offense and the linemen that they have and the blocking that the receivers can provide. I mean, we've seen the last couple of years, Leonard Fournette had 70 catches last year, and White had 50. That's 130, receptions from running backs. How dangerous they can be. Yeah. With this team. So those things are going to, put Baker in good positions. Baker's got to see it better. Baker's got to deliver better. As Dave continues to call plays, it's going to come more natural to him. Houston's kind of going the same thing with Slowik right now. He's first-time play caller, first-time coordinator himself. So there's things that, learning on the fly, learning on the job is part of the process. And as long as they continue to do that, I think they'll be in it. I still have them as a 10-7 win team. Just looking at their schedule, I know the Niners have kind of imploded a little bit on themselves, but I still think they're a really good team. Yeah. And that's going to be probably, if you look at the schedule, I put an L next to that one. A half of an L next to the Jags because they look like they're coming on winners of 5 straight. But other than that, I don't see any other teams that you're like, even with the Bucks in their current state, because they've been in every game. It's not like they've been blown out. They haven't been blown out in a real blowout style. in any game this year, you look at that Lions game, 20-6. Even that score is not indicative of a blowout, but they only started to pull away after halftime. I mean, up until halftime, this Bucs team's been in it with everybody. The Bills, the Lions, the Eagles. They've just made the mistakes to hurt themselves and not be able to put the nail in the coffin. And if they can, eliminate those, I think you're looking at a team that can go 10-7, win the NFC South, and who knows, maybe make a surprise upset in the wild card.
I tend to agree because that's what I said at the first of the year, 10-7. I thought you could see this team doing that, putting it together. Baker Mayfield doing well. So you don't buy the Kyle Trask nonsense of starting him. If you started him, you would have a better record. You don't buy all that, right?
The only way Kyle Trask sees the field this year is either A, an injury to Baker, or B, they continue to self him. No, I don't even think that. I think they've got to be multiple games out of first place in the division and just not playing well. And with that, obviously, will come with multiple losses. So I mean, if they lose, 3 of the next 4, and the Falcons win 3 of the next 4, and we're talking about now they're 4 or 5 games out of first place in the division, and it's just everything's spiraling. Maybe you see what Trask has. I just don't see that.
Right.
I just don't see it happening against teams like
I have
the Colts and the Titans. I know Will Levis is the next coming of Patrick Mahomes right now after 6 quarters. In a game losing interception, but and he has looked good. Nothing to take away from the young man, but.
Look, we all lost when we found out that he was putting mayonnaise in his coffee. Okay,
eating bananas with their peels on.
I cannot get over that. Have you tried that yet, JP? Should we try that on the show? Because I'm not doing it.
I like my mayo, but
I don't like it in my coffee.
I'm a big Miracle Whip fan, but
yeah,
I'm not putting it in my coffee.
Yeah,
JC, I love you, brother, but I have, I originally said this was a 8, 9, 10 win team. But after what I've seen so far this year and what Bowles is allowing to go on, and this team regressing as the season goes on, just like they did last year, I'm not as confident. Even a bad team can win this week. So I'm looking at this game, and then next week against the Titans. The Titans are a physical football team. They run the team. Those are the teams that have given this Bucs team a problem. If they can win those 2 games, I'm back on with you. But I think this week shouldn't be a struggle, but it might be. We'll see. And next week, I think it's going to be a tough if they keep playing the way they are. All these things you said they have to fix, I totally agree. And Bowles says they're going to fix them. He's been saying that for 2 years. He hadn't fixed any of them. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think it would be.
They fix the penalties?
Obviously.
No. They fix the run game? No.
I think it behooves them to lose more games than win more games, honestly. To get higher in that draft pick area to get a real franchise quarterback. But at this point, if you're not picking 1 or 3 or 4, you're probably in that top. We'll see. If that top 1 or 2, 3, Drake May, Caleb Williams. I mean, I think you can wait to get a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix or one of these guys.
I'll take either one of those guys.
Oh yeah, especially a Penix out of Tampa.
Yeah.
Right, and I think they can still get those guys in the team.
Shedeur Sanders. Oh my.
Wow. Right.
I'll take that.
We'll see how the draft stock continues to go as bowl game and combine.
Deion keeps letting him get his ass beat. That's not good. Hey, Deion, keep a tight end or a running back in every now and then. Protect your son.
I still think unless this team absolutely implodes, and then even then I'm not quite sure Bowles is relieved of his duties. I think you're probably looking at year 3 for Bowles. You look at it, didn't get to pick a staff.
Oh, dude.
Didn't get to put a roster together. I think the Glazers, and the Bucs want to give him, and Jason Light especially want to give him that opportunity to put his full stamp on a roster as far as coaching staff and as far as player personnel. I mean, if they don't win another game, we're talking about different stories. But if they finish, with 7 wins, 6 wins, I think they're probably looking at. I think you're probably looking at another year of Bowles, to be honest.
And I think his point is, and we're on with JC Allen of Sports Illustrated, does a fantastic job also on his sick podcast here on the JP Peterson Show. You're already in cap hell, so you didn't have a lot of cap. Now you're getting out of cap. You give him another year instead of pushing the reset button. And I feel like, there's a lot of Bucs fans who want that to happen, but you look at the typical.
I haven't heard of any.
Well, a lot of Bucs fans want Todd Bowles fired. They don't.
That a lot.
Right. They don't want him to
Heard that a lot.
stay.
Yeah.
But the problem is that typically when those franchises push the reset button, they're not good franchises. So I understand where he's coming from, but you're exactly right. It's a different story. If you don't win a game from here on out, then yeah, I definitely think you have to consider it. But if you win the NFC South, I think you're going to be hard pressed to fire him.
They
I
win
do.
the division.
And I think they could
And I
definitely
think
win this division.
It's a different kind of reset button because this was never a full reset, rebuild, tear it all down.
Right.
This was a retool. While you knew you had to eat the cap space this year, like 40% of this cap space is on players who aren't even playing this year.
Yeah,
and they had to do what they had to do. That's why there's 13 rookies on this roster. And they've got, thankfully, guys who stepped up, and they've got 3 of them starting. While we don't agree on Cody Mock and how he's been as a rookie, they've gotten solid contributions out of their rookie class, but they want to supplement that with a few free agents here. Not saying they're going to go out and spend $50 million on a free agent out there, but they definitely want to be able to make some moves and add some more pieces to this roster. And I think not being able to do that, bargain bin shopping as we've heard throughout this season, finding gems at the dollar store. While there's been a few guys who have popped, they definitely want to see what can this offense, what can this defense do when we're shopping at Target. Maybe I don't think they're going to be shopping at Neiman and Marcus with all the money they gotta dole out to obviously Wirfs and Winfield, but Devin White's playing himself right out of Tampa, or at least right out of a huge contract. Mike Evans, you could say the same. We'll see how that situation unfolds. I believe they'll definitely let him test the market before deciding him. Levante David is another guy they'll probably have to bring back. And, if Baker does win this division for them, goes on a tear to end the season, you're looking at maybe re-signing him at quarterback. So, it's going to be interesting. They'll probably need 2 guards next year, or at least a guard in the center, if they move Cody Mock over to center, as I expect they will. So there's going to be plenty of holes. They'll need tight end. They'll need wide receiver. They'll fill some of those roles through the draft.
Edge rusher.
See, the edge rusher is tricky because Shaq Barrett's all but locked into a contract. This is a big year for JTS so far. He's had his flashes and moments, then other games have disappeared. They'll need to make a decision on his 5th-year option this year. He's still under a rookie deal, so you're probably not going to cut him going into his 4th year. You drafted Yaya Diaby in the 3rd round, and we've seen flashes, and he's continuing to get better every game. You got Anthony Nelson for another year. So your top 4 are pretty much locked in. If they're going to go for an edge rusher there, that means you're probably saying bye to Cam Gill and Marquise Watts, which is, whatever if you're upgrading at that position. But trying to find the snaps for an edge rusher, especially if they take one high in the draft.
Jared Verse.
Right. Or maybe in free agency.
I'm not sure Shaq is locked in next year. I think there's
his contract, the way he restructured. I mean, they'll have to take a big cap hit to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if you do that either. You just got done talking to the rookie. What did you learn from him and go ahead and promote this great podcast you got going on, the Sick Podcast.
Yeah, the Pirate Parlay, brought to you by the Sick Podcast Network. Check it out on YouTube. We had Cody Mock on. He was great talking about his process leading up to game week, how he prepares, film study, the looks that he gets in practice, and then how he adjusts in his process in the game to what they're giving him. That was really insightful stuff. Just kind of the transition, who's been there as like a mentor and a leader for him to help him make that process. And then we always get into some fun things and get to know about him a little bit more, or whoever's on as our guest. So that was a lot of fun. Definitely check that out. We got Christian Isian on, Dave Canales, Joe Tryanchenko, Yaya Diaby. We got more players coming down the pipeline, some coaches as well. And then I just dropped another one today. Every week I preview the upcoming opponent with someone who's in the field, whether they're podcasting or writing or both. I had Glover Quinn on for the Lions. That was pretty cool, former safety for them.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, it's that just dropped today. Cody dropped earlier.
I guess the next question would be, can he take the job of Ryan Neal? Because a lot of Bucs fans would like to see that happen, especially if Neal continues with his play the way it's gone. But good stuff there, my friend.
So,
really, yeah.
just with Ryan Neal real quick, I know fans have been calling for D. Delaney. It's so difficult because of the position that, the Bucs are in. With Antoine Winfield Jr., he's an amazing free safety. It's what he probably does best. But he's so versatile that he can play in the slot and play down in the box and get after we've seen the sacks. We've seen the tipped interception, that he caused by Will Golston. So, you have to get him down there in certain plays in certain instances. The problem with that is now you're asking Ryan Neal to play free safety instead of playing in the box, a role where he thrives. And that's so far where we've seen teams notice that and take advantage of that when he's back there. The lapse in communication, lapse in judgment have really been a thorn in his side, and teams have targeted that, and we've seen the success they've had with him in coverage. If you put D. Delaney in there, he's not strong of a tackler. He's not someone that can really play in the box. He's more of that traditional free safety. And again, he's not really a safety by trade. He's a cornerback. So, that would take away from what Antoine Winfield does best, playing that back half of the field. Just go back to that Olave play against the Saints, and now you're asking him to play more of that box, more in the box, and because it's just something simply that Delaney can't do. So there's a reason why they haven't done it yet. I don't know if it'll come down the line. Bowles has been pretty adamant that he thinks a lot of these things they can fix, but on the back end with communication-wise. But we heard all summer how great the communication and how close Ryan Neal and Antoine Winfield were, but we just haven't seen it translate on the field. And that's all I got to say about that.
I love it. Yeah, and I get that part of it, but the game-changing plays that he's given up, I would say outweigh some of those other considerations. And maybe, Delaney getting no snaps, maybe, in obvious passing downs, which are, almost 60% of football, you would get D. Delaney in there. So I think there's more you can do. Again, just, to me, so much of this is about coaching, preparation. We've seen this team regress this year, much like last year. So hopefully this coaching staff, we love them personally. They're great dudes.
Yeah.
And we want to see them succeed. There's no doubt about it. But it's hard to put on this film and say, wow, this is a really well-coached team, because it doesn't look that way. Whether it's the players or it's the coaches, it just doesn't look that way. Too many mistakes.
Yeah, too many mental mistakes, and it's costing this team in critical situations. It's just not good.
All right, JC. Thanks, buddy. Always great to hear from you. We hope to see you down here next week so we can wine and dine you.
Yes.
And thank you for all your great participation.
Absolutely. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right,
Great
good stuff
JC
there.
Allen
Yeah,
right there.
JC Allen.
All right, let's take a break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we will we'll play a little Dave Canales.
Yeah.
Always great to hear from Dave, and some very pointed questions for him this week. So we'll do that. We're live for the Patio, 421 South McNeil. Get your butt down here. $4 White Claws, $4 White Claw vodkas. We got a great happy hour going on till 7:30. $1 off all beer and wine under this beautiful blue sky and the palm trees.
Beautiful.
Beautiful
Where
weather.
are you at?
Come
What
on
are you
down.
doing?
And we got the fan mic, so
Yeah.
you can be live on our TV show here. Come on down. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. So do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
Here 5 to 7 each and every Friday. You want some Rays t-shirts? We got some Rays t-shirts. You come on down, answer a trivia question, and I'll give you a free Rays t-shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Parade or bust t-shirt.
Exactly.
So do we have a guest here?
We do have a guest here. Look at that. Go ahead and move in just a little bit. Come in just a little bit there.
Zach Wheeler, who pitches for the Phillies. No, that's not you.
Not quite. That's not me.
No, you're a distance runner, though. Are you not?
Yes, that's right.
And a fan of the JP Peterson show.
I am.
Which makes you an awesome dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
You want to talk some Bucks?
Yes.
So you have your Bucks shirt on there.
I do.
Your Super Bowl shirt. Are you where are you at with your team this year? Thank you so much.
Repeat that again. It's a little loud here.
So where are you at with this team right now? Are you upset? They're 3-4.
I've been
you mad at
kind
Ty
of disappointed,
Bowles?
but a lot of things can still happen. They're kind of where they were, but one game can completely turn the season around because just like the Falcons game was a swing game a couple weeks ago, if they can win this game, they can turn momentum back in the other way as well.
All right, so is this the game that they turn it around finally, in your opinion?
They have to.
Yeah? What's the biggest key to the game?
Get off to a good start.
Okay. All right. Running game?
You mean scoring a touchdown in the first quarter?
That would be amazing.
Well, why not?
Are we allowed?
Got to be a first time for something at some point.
Did you ask Dave if we're allowed to do that? We are allowed.
You got to check the rules on that, right?
Yeah.
Because it hasn't happened here in the last couple of games, right?
Are the Bucks allowed to score in the first quarter?
At least they're not at
all
home.
year.
Says yes.
Well, there you go.
Says yes.
There you go.
Wow. Then why aren't we?
Why aren't they scoring? What are you more disappointed in? Because we asked this question a couple of weeks ago. What are you more disappointed in? Is it the quarterback play? Is it the offensive play calling and the coaching? Is it the offensive line and the running game? What is it for you that's the most disappointing? Is it the defense, the third down defense, which is unable to get off the field?
That's a lot of stuff to unravel right there. But regarding the offense, though,
that's what I do.
It mostly comes down to execution and play calling.
Okay. All right. So play calling and execution. That's what it comes down to. You're not in favor
Where are you
of it either.
on Ty Bowles?
He can save his job if he gets things turned around correctly, but if he can't, it's going to get really ugly very soon.
He's got to win the division to save his job.
Yes.
I agree.
How many wins?
I'm going to say over under at least probably 9. I don't think it's going to be 8 wins again this year.
Okay. Is that what you said before the season started, 9 wins, or has that changed?
About 8, 9 right says right ham at the beginning, but of course things can change depending on what things happen. But to win the NFC South, I still think 9 again because I don't think you're going to have a losing record team win it again.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
Good stuff here.
Well, Zach, listen, man, thanks for jumping on with us. And I'd say good luck in your running career. You got a big race coming up?
In 2 weeks, we're going to be going up to Philadelphia, and some of us are running the half marathon like I am, and some of us are going to run the full marathon up there.
Wow, half marathon.
Yes.
That's over 13 miles, have they?
It is.
I can't do that. I can't. I don't think.
But you can train yourself no matter how. If you just put your mind to it and try think long term, you can do it.
Running. I hate running. I'd play 2 hours of basketball full court, but I couldn't run a mile and a half. I just hate it.
Well, I told you a little bit earlier. I've been running since I was younger, though. But I was but when I was in college, I walked onto the cross country track team at Florida Southern, and I was able to keep that going long afterwards.
Awesome, bro. That's
standby caller.
I knew I could do that because I couldn't keep playing football after high school. Even though I told Peter I was a state champion when I was in high school.
Who'd you play for?
Academy at the Lakes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were state champions my sophomore year, and I was one of the captains on that team.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But, football can get a little tough after high school. And distance running, I got to give you great credit. I do not have the mind.
I actually was able to transition very easily because when I was in high school, one of the things I did to prepare myself for two-a-days was I would actually go out and run a few miles in the heat to prepare that. And I kept doing it for years. And then when I realized what the regime was going to be required after I made as a walk-on, I said, I can keep doing this. I've been doing this for years. Just doing it for 5 or 10 miles now.
Well, congratulations on that, and good luck on the half marathon.
Thank you very much.
I got to ask you really quick, mayonnaise and coffee, no or yes?
No.
Okay, good. There you go. See, normal people, no mayonnaise in their coffee. That quarterback, you're going to face him next week. And Will
No,
Levis.
I don't share the same taste with Will Levis.
All right, man. Appreciate the time here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hey,
best luck to you, Peter, and best luck to
listen,
you.
you want an extra large?
Is that the only size?
I got large, too. Large? There you are.
All right, there we go.
Best guest of the day. See? You said
See, he
even though he's a Gator and I
Yes.
knows I'm a no, I give
Right.
fair coverage.
Well, there
Thank
you go. Fair coverage.
Thank you. Go
All
tell
right,
all
man.
your Gator buddies that.
We appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Zach.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go out to the phone lines here. You winded me up, and now we got calls. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the JP Peterson show here live from the patio. Go.
Gentlemen, how are you? Bucks base fan.
Oh, what's going
up,
on, Bucks basement?
All right. Thanks for calling in, bud.
I get that JC and these Bucks websites have a job to make this team look better than they are because no one wants to do draft reports in November. But let's not insult the intelligence of the fans by saying things like, yes, has actually shined this season. I'd love to know where because the dude is an absolute ghost, and he's been a ghost since we freaking drafted him.
Which one was that? I missed that. Who you were talking about?
JTS, I think you're talking about. Well, he's had his moments this year, but nothing along the lines of, first round worthy. I agree with you on that.
I want to give you guys two choices.
Okay.
To make it. One side, you win a crappy division. You get your ass handed and embarrassed on national TV in the wild card. You get a middle of the pack draft pick, and you keep Foles. Or you lose division, get this coaching staff fired, especially Keith Armstrong. Get a top draft pick and hire a head coach that understands what the NFL is in 2023 rather than a head coach that thinks the NFL is still played in 2002. What would you choose?
Can I take door number 2?
That would be the correct answer.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
I don't.
I will say this because there are a lot of Bucs fans out there that want Todd Bowles gone, and they're giving up on this team. I'm not ready to give up on this team, and I understand the choices, but also you know this all too well. Just because you draft a quarterback in the first round doesn't necessarily mean that's going to translate over to the National Football League, especially with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Most times, you draft a quarterback in the first round, it doesn't turn out well
at all.
Just by the numbers. What
Sure.
I'm talking about because. Playing quarterback in the NFL is freaking hard.
Oh, yeah.
There's only 10 to 15 guys on the planet that can do it at a decent level. So it's always a crapshoot. But that being said, You earn what you get, right? You are what your record says you are.
Bill Parcells,
and right now, what this team has earned at 3-4 and what they're putting on tape right now is not good enough. And if this is the way, if this team continues to regress as it has done already this year, losing 3 in a row, then there's changes have to be made. I love the guys. They're good people. They all have families, these coaches, but this is the NFL. This is why you get paid tons of money. Yeah. Because eventually you're going to get fired and you're going to need that money.
We have a coach still saying in a press conference that we are running ball club. I mean, delusion, my God. I was like, bro, are you aware of what team this is? Have you seen the film? We can't run the damn ball.
Bucks Basement, are you one of those guys that gets on like a YouTube video or a social media video and breaks your TV because you hear that comment right away?
No, I heard that comment and I was like, this guy needs to stop getting that segment on Tampa 10 because he's doing himself favored with the fan base.
No, and then he sits up there and defends Devin White.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you look like Mayorkas at the border.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the border's closed. We got this under control.
Right.
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Those people? Cross it? No, don't worry about that. It's all an illusion. You're sitting there.
Don't look behind the curtain, right?
It's like,
never mind the curtain.
There's just people running across the Rio Grande behind him. It's like, no, we're a running football team. Devin White's doing great. No.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We can watch the tape.
Yeah.
We can see with our own eyes what's going on.
Tape don't lie, my friend. Tape don't lie.
He didn't have tape. He's still stuck in 2002. He didn't have tape back then.
Come on now, Bucks Basement. Just give it a chance. But I understand what you're saying.
Basement's been into
Bucks Basement
is. You got to come down here and join us.
Yeah, we got to get you some wings or some food, get you a drink, get you happy here, man. It's Friday. It's going to turn around. Come on now. You got to be optimistic. I got to put some optimism in you here.
He's a realist.
Well, that's true.
I'm with you. I'm a realist. I'm with you. I'm not paid to be an optimist. I'm a realist.
Well, again, I don't want to talk about the draft. Okay, I don't want to, but we already are talking about. We may. You may be talking about your quarterback class, and right.
That's not my. You go 3-5 and you lose to the Texans, and that's not my fault.
You've got to beat the Texans.
You're fired.
But
yeah,
Vegas is favoring the Texans, so this delusion that the Bucks should win this game, I don't know where the hell that's coming from. Because Vegas doesn't think we're going to win, and spoiler alert, they're probably going to favor the Titans over us too. Because they can hang points. We can't.
Well, Vegas is not always right, my friend. But I tell you right now, with the multitude, Leo word, of injuries that they have on their offensive line, it may be time for your boy JTS to step up. Bucks Basement, thanks a lot for the call here on the JP Peterson Show. All right, my friend?
All right, y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let me go back out to the comments here. Let's read some of these comments.
Anybody here at the patio, you guys want to come on the show?
Yes.
Share right here for you. And a mic, and a live mic.
And you're on camera. This is on live right now. People don't think it's live.
But millions of people.
Yes. Facebook and YouTube.
Put us up on there instead of
PTI right here.
That
Michael Wilbon.
PTI.
Nobody.
We have way more viewers.
Absolutely. All right. JV versus varsity line. I believe he's talking about the Bucks defensive line versus the offensive line of the Texans. I agree. Devin has underwhelmed. Jeremy again. Devin White is obviously not a $20 million player. No. Derek says absolutely. Derek again. I think we should go interior O-line in the first round. Not the most popular pick.
Go edge rusher.
Yeah. Well, I like my pick.
Interior offensive line wouldn't be bad. It depends. Obviously, depends on where we're picking.
Sure.
What's available.
Absolutely. All right, let's go back out. Bucks should have traded up and drafted Jack Campbell and traded Devin White. You agree with that? Because there was some talk of that.
Hell yes.
In the draft room where they were, if you look back at it, I know they wanted Kalijah Cansey, but there was some scuttlebutt there that the Bucks were interested in a Campbell out of Iowa.
I don't know what on draft day what Devin White's worth was, but obviously it wasn't much. But I don't know that. I don't think they would have traded him because Todd Bowles wouldn't allow it.
5th overall pick. Oh, 5th overall pick.
I said it then. If we could get a 2 for him or a high 3, I would have traded.
Right, well, because you take that 2nd round pick and maybe you move back into the 1st round and get yourself a linebacker like a Campbell. somebody like that if you need to.
Hell yeah.
I mean, of course, Detroit picked him before, but I'm just saying maybe you move back in for a player, or maybe you trade up for a Will Levis, which a lot of Buccaneer fans would like to see too. Bring Tucker in, please. Christopher Cole. We got a stud DL, though, and that would be Cansey. Leo still uses paper maps, laugh out loud.
Yes, of course he does.
Jason,
Get out the Rand McNally. Get on down here.
There you go. I think it's the connection between Baker on the field at night, he says. Corey says 10-7. Ha. Zach, our hockey fan here of the Tampa Bay Lightning, which we'll get into in a little bit here. I hope the Bolts can break out of this horrible habit of blowing leads late in the game. I know you want to talk about, that.
Talk about that.
Highly disappointing last night after having a 2-1 lead and basically having all the momentum in that second period. You felt good about the third period going in. I hate mayonnaise. Jason says picks are hit and miss. Christopher Cole Bowles is kind of scared since the 0 blitz against the Rams that cost us back the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I haven't seen as much blitzing this year. I would listen. I prefer when this Bucs defense plays man-to-man and blitzes the hell out of the quarterback, because I don't think they can get pressure any other way. The strength of your secondary is man-to-man for the most part. I know Neil is I just don't know how you don't play man-to-man, because one guy can't play man-to-man. If Neil can't play man-to-man, then you coaches coach around this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know of any team that has 5 good man-to-man players.
Sure.
And you've got 2 shutdown corners that play best press man-to-man, and you're paying them to do so. Do it, especially when your defense is playing as bad as it is. And I don't care what you say about the numbers that are given up. You put on the tape, you gave up 6.6 yards per play to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 450 yards of 427 yards of offense.
It's not going to work. You can't give up that many yards.
You're
not winning anything at all.
That's certainly not a quality defensive performance against a team in the Bills that had been struggling.
Yeah.
Struggling. Yeah, the Texans are 2.5 point or 3 point favorites in this game. That's mind blowing. Like and this is what Vegas thinks about the Buccaneers. And you can, say you think they're going to win 10 games, and Vegas doesn't think so. They've downgraded their number of wins, and that's because of what they're putting on tape, not because of what the numbers are. They look way beyond that, the scoring numbers and what have you.
I'm kind of looking off in the background there. What do we got going on with Michigan? Because that's a mess. Did you hear the latest on that? A coach
we need to talk about that as well.
Was let go because of trying to get a 13-year-old girl to drink alcohol, which is ridiculous. They fired him, didn't say anything about it. You would have to stand Verse up. He's used to playing with his hand in the dirt. What do you think about Jared Verse? Because last year, I think he was viewed as a top 10, top 5 pick. This year, I think he's either the effort is not there or he's getting double and triple team. What do you see with him?
He's getting double and triple team a lot, but he's starting to come on and make some more plays.
Okay.
I think probably it's tough for guys like this because you don't want to get hurt. There's so much money on the line, but if you come back for your senior season, you got to ball out. You got to give it all you got, and thinking about getting hurt is the best way to get hurt. So I think he's starting to let it loose a little bit more later in the season. So I think you'll see more from him.
Agree.
Absolutely. And as a pro football player, I think he's going to be tremendous. I think he'll be tremendous.
Do you think he would fit this Bucs scheme with Todd Bowles? Do you think Bowles could be creative with him?
Yeah, I think he can fit any scheme. He's that kind of player.
Okay.
He's got great instincts, great pass rushing moves, quick off the ball. If you can't figure out how to play that guy, that's a you problem.
Right.
That's a you problem.
Right. All right, let's go back out to the comments here. Jason says, okay, guys, we are not running replays. Christopher Cole, I watched the breakdown of Cansey on a few occasions. He opens up a hole for Devin White to rush, but it's like he's running in slow motion, shaking my head. And you got to kind of wonder, not only is he out of shape, but is he also dealing with an injury, which we talked about at the beginning of the year. Remember the Philadelphia game where, basically Scott Reynolds said in self-defense interception.
Yeah.
And doesn't do anything.
Threw it right to him.
Right. Threw it right to him and can't take it back. Usually you would see Devin White. Do you still think he's dealing with that injury?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I don't think he's not on the injury report. I don't care.
Right.
Like if you're injured, get off the field.
Right.
If you can't play at the level he's playing, if he's injured and the coaches are putting him out there, they're killing your value, Devin, number one, because the tape you're putting out is not going to get you paid. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think Devin's ever been that great of a player. I've said this for a long time. He had a great Super Bowl season.
Sure.
And he can make splash plays, but he's very undisciplined. He can't get off blocks. He's not great in coverage. You know, most of the tackles he made the other day were 8-9 yards downfield. It's not. You can get a lot of guys that can do that.
Yeah.
You get a lot of guys that can do that. It's
All
not
right.
Personal. It's just what he puts on tape and the fact that
he's not a $20 million player.
Oh, hell.
That's what it comes down. I don't even know if he's a $15 to $18 million player. And if he goes and tests the market and some team wants to overpay for him, have at it, because you drafted a Sabashiek. And I don't know what's going on here. I got some type of bug that keeps on trying to fly around here.
I hate when that happens.
I hate that. But we're outside here live at the patio. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the JP Peterson Show.
Hey, Peter, it's Jeremy.
What's going on, Jeremy?
Not much, man. Happy Friday, fellas.
Happy Friday. Yeah,
brother.
pump it up, my friend. Pump it up. Come on.
Yeah, man. Hey, I mean, they better get a win. I'm with JP from watching your show this morning until now. I'm right with you, man. If they can't get a W on Sunday, then you got to go with Trask. It's time.
What do you think the biggest matchup is for this game, and who do you think is going to stand out and be the player of the game against the Texans?
I say our front D line against our beat-up offensive line.
Right.
And I think Vita Vea is the biggest key, taking on the double teams and creating, more pass rush out of our pass rushers. This is it. JTS, Shot Barry, Guy Diaby, Anthony Nelson. They need to get in there and get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
And maybe just maybe, I know JP agrees with this. It wouldn't hurt. Maybe, throw Devin White in on a pass rush here and there. Maybe not full time, try to be more creative on the pass rush.
Well, that is an interesting scenario that you bring up, because somebody, I believe, brought this up on Twitter.
I do that.
Yes.
You go to you put White as an outside linebacker, and you use him, which he's better at. He's better at getting after the passer. You put him there. Sabashiek Dennis goes to the middle linebacker spot, and then you start to see both positions there. And it solves both problems, because White can get after the quarterback.
He's allowed to blitz the line.
Right.
Blitz in any scheme, in any position he's at.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. The injury is a little bit more serious.
I say it wouldn't hurt.
A handsome fella.
It wouldn't hurt to be more creative. I mean, you got to do something, because, like I said, that zone thing's driving me bananas. They need to go more man-to-man. Like I said, they need to use our two corners to, best of their ability, then it's man-to-man press coverage. Can't get turnovers, at least, get off the field on third down and stop giving this offense more, possession.
Yeah. Well, it's like watching a Mike Smith zone from how many years ago? It's awful. 10, 15 yards back.
Soft.
Yeah.
I said this the other, 3 games ago. This team is soft. It's soft in the way it plays and coverage. It's soft in its lack of physicality. It's soft in the run game.
Yeah.
It's soft in their press conferences. It's just soft. The whole team is soft. There's no edge to this team at all.
And there's no fireness in Devin White either, man. Devin White just looks lost out there. He doesn't look like – where's that high energy he brought week 1? After that week, he disappeared. He went poof.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed.
I don't know.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate you, Jeremy. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
All right, let's either take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to hear from Dave Canales on his press conference this week. Whatever you want to bring to the table, open phone lines. If you're in the area, come on down here to the patio, 421 South McDill. Happy hour is going on till 7:30. $4 White Claws, $4 White Claw vodkas. We got a great staff here, great area under the beautiful palm trees here. The weather's fantastic. Come on down to the patio, 421 South McDill.
Have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Gold and Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement cost, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sport.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. I'm Peter Blake along with JP Peterson, live here from the patio, 421 South McDill Avenue in Tampa. Get down here. Fan Mike is available, and, of course, open phone line, as always, if you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Lots of fans coming up to you and talking to you, man. You're Mr. Popular today. Well, they love your show.
This is my hood, bro. This is my hood.
This is your hood?
Yeah, it's J.D. Mosley. He's a big Dogs fan.
All right.
I was like, hey, how about Georgia and FSU in a little semifinal playoff action? Oh, my God. That would be huge.
That's what it's setting up to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are the semifinal games? Is it Atlanta one of the spots?
I don't know.
Find out.
I have to write it down. I'll tell you what, let's go back out to these comments here, because lots of comments today from the JP Peterson Show. We love that. Interaction is the key. That's what you can do here. Christian says, I prefer Miracle Whipped in my coffee. So there's somebody out there that's sick. This is business. It's not charity. When it comes to our coaching staff, Zach Mitchell right there.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Tim says, the season is only halfway. We need more production and growth. Does Baker stay on the field? We don't give up 17-plus, make us a better team. Absolutely, I like the Bucs. Hopefully, we get better as the season moves on. If we go backwards, fire everyone. And 2 years later, we are relevant again. Agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to go one way or the other.
Correct.
You got to go. Staying in the middle is just going to crush you.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. It's going to be hard to find a franchise quarterback with the 17th pick.
Sure.
Even though this is a very heavy draft for quarterbacks. So, it's that's why I said that's why this game is so important to me. If you win this game, you're in the hunt. You're back to 4-4. The Titans coming to town. It's a winnable game. Get after it. You lose this game, you'd be better off just finishing with 3 wins.
Yeah.
And that's I hate to say it, but and find out what you got in Kyle Trask. Because if you lose this game, I mean, do you really have faith in the coaching staff? No.
To turn it around? No, I don't.
No.
Because we continue to see the same things happen over and over again, and you continue to preach the same thing.
You can't figure out a way to beat a team that's on their 4th center and starting almost every one of their backup offensive linemen.
Yeah.
As a rookie, as a quarterback, rookie head coach. I mean, if you can't find, then you're not playoff
Texans are
worthy.
awful.
You're not. Forget about it.
Forget about it. There you go. Exactly.
By the way, the semifinals are in the Rose Bowl.
Wow.
So January 1st, semifinal, 5 o'clock, the Rose Bowl. What a great place to watch a football game. And the Sugar Bowl at 8:45 on New Year's Eve. Or, I'm sorry, New Year's Day.
Okay.
So those are your 2 semifinals, with the championship game being in the stadium the Bucs will play in on Sunday, NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas.
Very nice.
So
And
you can go to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
and get attacked by all the homeless people there. Or you can go to New Orleans and get robbed by the homeless people there. And then go to Houston. Boy, those are 3 cities I have no interest in going to.
You had some bad experiences in those cities with homeless people.
Not a damn one. You got to go to New Orleans?
Right. Well, you talk
about
about
an AK and a hazmat suit.
You talk about the Rose
You're
Bowl.
going to go to L.A., same thing.
I mean, are they going to have extra security for their players so their jewelry doesn't get robbed at halftime? Did you see that? I can't believe that's happening.
Yeah, can you? So those are your dates, or your dates in your semifinal location. So a little Georgia, FSU, and New Orleans.
Sure,
I'll watch that one on TV.
And I think in Michigan eventually will get eliminated by some hook or crook. Either they get beat by Ohio State, or there is so much of a PR backlash from the Big Ten and everybody that's involved with that situation.
Well, see, the Big Ten is in a kind of a catch-22 situation here. They've got all of their, ADs and coaches screaming at the commissioner to do something about Michigan because of how blatantly they've broken the rules here.
Right.
And I mean, we can argue whether it's made a huge difference on the field. Bottom line is, you're not supposed to do it. You got caught. You say everybody else is doing it. Okay, well, where's the evidence? If everybody else is doing it, where's the evidence? Show me the video. Show me the audio. Show me the evidence. I don't see it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of evidence against you. Plenty of that evidence. It hasn't been hard to find, actually. So, and if the Big Ten tries to disqualify Michigan, and Michigan were to beat Ohio State, then you have no Big Ten representative in the playoff.
That's why I think it could happen before.
You think they're going to do that and bite the hand that lose tens of millions of dollars? No, that's not happening.
So does it happen before then? That's my next question. You have more allegations coming out. We kind of touched upon it.
Well, what are you going to do? Make them forfeit games? If you forfeit games and then they beat Ohio State,
right,
and you have no representative in the playoffs.
It's crazy. It's
so
completely nuts.
So they're not going to do that because of just because of any sanctions that they have will take place after this season.
Yeah, it's going to be a Pete Carroll situation where it's so bad at USC for what the couple years there he leaves for the NFL. Mark it down. Go take it to Vegas. Jim Harbaugh is going to be the next coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I hope so. Because that means he's not the next coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I still say the guy, X's and O's wise, he's a genius. When it comes to personality and some of the things he's doing right now that you're finding out.
His act will not work in the NFL anymore. I'm sorry.
No.
It's too – have you seen his press conferences?
Oh,
you see how he relates?
Oh,
he's going to have to relate to adult grown-ass men. I don't see it. I just don't, in his khakis and –
the khakis. I like the khakis.
I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. I just don't get it.
All right.
Let's get to the Dave Canales.
Yeah, let's go to that.
I want to play this because I love hearing him talk about offense, and there were some very pointed questions. And you talked to him here today.
I did. Yes, I did.
Hopefully get him on the show. So let's
work. We'll work on that. Here we go. Okay.
I was in my happy place. Had a little breeze going. Anyway, I know we got some important stuff to talk about. What do we got?
When you look at last week, short week, you had to travel, bad news. Good news, now 10 days between games.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can help preparation. Does that allow you to do a deep dive into self-scouting and find out just what's going on with this offense?
Yeah, we took advantage of some of that, just kind of continuing to look at the run game first. Some of the improvements that we saw in the game was just the intensity and attitude, and I think that comes from the familiarity and the comfort in the schemes that we're running. And so I saw guys really getting after it, aggressive plays, even Trey's holding call on an explosive run, which are so hard to come by these days. It was an effort penalty. He's driving the guy into the ground on an aggressive block twice this year. So we just got to get better, know when to let our hands go. He's dominating the play, but I saw some more physical plays, so that was a positive. And again, the efficiency was not there. I think we were like in the 30s or 30 some odd % efficiency. So we still got to continue to improve in that regard. But yeah, using that time, looking at the run game, looking at the pass game, things that they're trying to do to Mike, things they're trying to do to Baker to make him uncomfortable, and really try to help them out. And at this point now, we're starting to hone in really on what we're good at in the pass game.
You were able to get Rashad in some space with some of the screens. How much can that help the running game, give you another wrinkle there?
Absolutely, right? Screens are a huge part of it. Whether it's wide screens, drop back screens, play action screens, some of those things. I mean, we've talked about this before. Rashad is really good in space, knows how to set up and make that first tackler miss. And so it really needs to continue to be a part of what we're doing to supplement it as we get the run game going.
Just what your thoughts were of how Aaron Stinney played filling in, especially on some of those screen plays, being able to move down the field.
Oh, he played great. Yeah, he had some good couple of runs where he really moved some people, had some power. Pass pro, he was his first shot really in there since the preseason to go against some guys and did pretty good. He's got room for improvement there, but love seeing his athleticism, length, and power in the run game, so that was really cool.
You guys have played football since they were 8 years old, 10 years old. Knowing the snap count, the pre-snap penalties, you talk about them all the time. It's really gotten to the point where it's hurt you. A lot of them on the offensive line. So what else is there to do unless you change personnel at this point?
I got to go to me first and just ask myself, like, what am I doing? What indecision, what hesitancy, angst at the snap am I creating with what we're asking them to do? I know that we can't be as simple as not have alerts on plays. There's ways to take advantage of the defense. That's part of the growing pains. This was a problem for us in Seattle, I'll be honest. Just over time, we got better at it. The quarterback in the center owning the snap, and then just the discipline of the play by the tackles. We got to have discipline out there. And so, we really attacked it head on this week. Put the noise as loud as we could. Put it on plays that get alerted. There's different things that happen so that they had to sit there, can't hear. Let's verbally, non-verbally communicate. So we try to put them in pretty difficult situations. We were great in Minnesota. We were great in New Orleans, two of the loudest places you can play in. This one got us. So I don't know if it was the short week, not having the noise a part of our walkthroughs early on. But again, that's on me. I got to ask for those things. So I know I can take my part of it, but the players also have to take that part of let's move forward. Let's make new mistakes.
Alert that they're listening for and hearing a sound and thinking that that's a snap? Exactly explain kind of how that...
I really don't know. All I know is that anytime you change from one play to another, their brains have to click to something new, and then that does just create a little bit of indecision and all that. And so it's something that you have to get comfortable being in those uncomfortable spots. And then work together that way. So,
you're coming off two quarterbacks that had not really good years. Is there similarities dealing with the both of them now with Baker and what you dealt with in Seattle?
Similarities in that these are experienced players, so I think that helps us. Being able to talk through things, being able to analyze the plays we have in the game plan, make tweaks to make things the right way, the communication with the center. Baker as well as Gino, just being able to work with the centers. They see one thing, but the quarterback can see more, so he's done a great job that way. And then again, Yeah, there's definitely, whether it was Gino or Baker, they know they're playing for something, and so there's a challenge to continue to have those conversations to say we don't have to chase anything. Let's just do the right things, fundamentally the most basic part of it, and then all that stuff will come to you.
We talked about slow starts, seven opening drives, no touchdowns, one field goal. In terms of building confidence, kind of asserting control of the game, how important is it to get that clicking on opening drives?
Huge. Yeah, I'd love to score a touchdown every opening drive, So whether that's the play types or execution, I think that's a huge area of growth for us, and so just being able to start our practices with the right energy, making sure that our bodies are right, everything's right, so we can come off and I just know personally, the more we get comfortable with what we're doing, we will play fast from the first snap to the last. And I don't see that from us right now. We got a long way to go still in that regard.
Hawkins moving from left tackle, where he played a lot his senior year in college, to the right guard spot. How has that transition gone, and how do you think he's playing?
I can't speak to the transition. I just know that he's a rookie guard playing in the NFL, and so he's seeing the challenges of big athletic dudes, bigger and faster than he's ever played against, moving on him at the snap, different challenges that come with, just accumulating all those experiences. And again, this investment in Cody it's a long haul process, and he's athletic enough to hold his own. But on any play, there's just some technique stuff that he needs to continue to improve in. So not only is it a new system for everybody, he's also a rookie on top of that. And so just being able to continue to encourage him and support him as he grows and improves.
Give you the best chance to win, or is he in there to basically you're trying to develop him?
I believe he's the best one that gives us a chance to win, especially from an athletic standpoint. He's coming along too in the run game. Just his athleticism shows, backside or front side on it. But again, it's a fundamental deal.
Like you had that long drive, right? You got back in the game that way, but it just took so long.
Yeah.
How are you guys in terms of are you trying to use tempo, or in that situation, would you prefer to try to go a little faster? Or?
Yeah, sure. But at the same time, I'm trying to move the chains and trying to flip the field. We got in a lot of situations. We had to go the entire length of the field. So for me, we have good chunk plays built into our tempo, but also I had an arsenal of plays that attack the coverages. So I was trying to get to those. We were trying to hit balls out of bounds, caught it, and got tackled in bounds a few times. That's just us getting out of bounds on routes, being able to finish it that way. But to your point, work the sidelines. If they're giving you those outs, let's take the outs, let's move it. But we got saved a couple times with penalties. So again, it comes down to execution, throwing and catching routes, being detailed. Some of the things that we got to be really hard on the guys for. So
this isn't your first time going up against D'Amico Ryans. You have a lot of experience going up against him. What do you think he's brought to Houston, and do you see any crossover from what he's doing in San Francisco?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the crossover is that he's coaching effort first. Up front, they're a penetrating defensive line. These guys fire off the ball, whether it's the nose tackle, the three, or the ends. They're crash nine techniques. They're up the field right now. You look earlier in the season, I don't think they really understood what he was asking them to do. You watch the last 2 or 3 games, even thinking about Pittsburgh, they're firing off the ball, and they're playing into blocks. It makes it really challenging for the tackles, really challenging for the guards with the 3 techniques shooting up the field. And then what you're starting to see from them is in their structures, there's not a lot of complicated structures that they have, but the communication, you're seeing improvement. And then this whole time, throughout the whole season, they team tackle. They gang tackle everything. So if you look at it, it's really hard to score touchdowns in the red zone because they play their defenses and they all swarm and rally to the ball. So I see the same signature, in some of the situational stuff I don't want to get into, but as far as the philosophy and style of the way they play, he's definitely getting them towards what he's looking for and what I'm used to seeing from San Francisco.
How's Baker doing? You start off 3-1. Mm-hmm. Now the 3 losses in a row. Are you sensing any at all frustration, any change at all in Baker now?
I see urgency, but I think especially the last 2 weeks, I see a guy that's mature, that's handling it the right way. He's coming to work with a professional attitude. He's been really challenging guys, challenging young guys, challenging different players, to like, let's go, let's start heading in the right direction. And I feel like he's doing it the right way. His language isn't demeaning, it's challenging. There's a difference. And then as far as his own work, he's just consistent. And he's going through, every single day coming through, doing his checklist of going through his situations. We have those conversations. And so, I definitely see a guy who's maturing in that. I don't know what he was like before, but he's shown me he's handling it the right way.
Wolford had the opportunity reportedly to sign with the Rams and chose to stay in Tampa Bay. As an offensive coordinator, how important is a guy like that in your quarterback room as you go through loadings in practice and film and et cetera?
I mean, practically speaking, right? It's just good to have 3 guys that you've trained, and he's got history in somewhat of the same system. But then, just going through camp and getting all those reps and what he does bring to the quarterback room, super important. And for me, it just makes me feel good that the guy wanted to be here, and believes in what we're building, believes in what we're doing, and believes in just how we treat each other and the family we're building here as this group of just a culture of respect, a culture of hard work, and that mutual respect of coaches, of players taking coaching, but then coaches also listening to the players. And so I was really fired up, in a time in our season where we got 3 losses. That was a definite win for me. So I got to take the wins and the encouragement as we go.
Thoughts about the tush push?
Oh yeah, I love it. We're working on it. We're trying to get that rolling. And then, in the given situation, I think that'll really help us in short yardage.
As a run game, you said in the past, like even Seattle, it took about half a season to get the scheme implemented and really for the guys to grasp it.
Yeah.
Halfway point now in this season,
Yeah.
where do you think the guys are as far as their grasp of the scheme, and is that part of why it struggled kind of early on?
Yeah, I think there's no magical number, right? Like I can't say it was just, hey, man, it's half the season, we got it. But I will say this, to your point, I think that the attitude and mentality was there on Thursday night. I think we put ourselves in horrible situations with penalties that didn't allow us to get more runs called, to get more of our cool play actions and screens called, all the things that were left on my call sheet. That was a struggle, just being in 2nd and 18, being in 1st and 15, and you're trying to get half back. It makes it harder to just say, man, I'm going to just keep leaning on this run. So that's where I had to mix it. But I think that our attitude and mentality, the effort part is heading in the right direction. The combos, the backs are more patient in hitting them. We weren't perfect on our reads by any means, but I think that we're heading in the right direction for sure with that.
From your perspective, why do you think CJ Stroud has been so successful this season?
Yeah, discipline. So I know he's getting coached really hard, and in a system where very similar to what they were doing in San Francisco. They asked the quarterback to be very disciplined, to your first progression and then check it down. And that's what you see from CJ. He's playing smart football. He's taking care of it. And on top of all that, he's a really talented passer. And he's taking advantage of some of the shots he has down the field. But I'm not surprised, but you definitely don't see rookies come in with that kind of a maturity and discipline to be able to play like that. Brock Purdy did that, in San Francisco, and I see CJ kind of doing some of the same things. All right. Thank you all.
There is the great Dave Canales. Always, even though his offense is struggling big time, you learn something from him and you understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, you definitely do. And I think, it's key because, it's you start to learn about Baker. Like he said it best. He's not demeaning. He's still mature. Even though you have a 3-game losing streak, and a lot of people thought, well, when Baker came here as a free agent, if he didn't start or if it wasn't successful, that basically, the team was going to go down, and that's not the case according to Canales. So I think that's key in itself.
I think what scares me is, and Todd Bowles talked about this in Canales as well, is, and Bowles was the one who said we couldn't go fast because we were getting too many penalties.
Right.
I mean, if you can't run a 2-minute drill, what are we doing? Are you not practicing it? Are you not?
I guess that would be my question to ask him. What dictates tempo besides the obvious to score the game? When do you start to
to
do
get
you
an
come
advantage,
out?
to
Right.
get it. The Bills did it to the Buccaneers.
Correct.
To keep them from substituting and maybe running some of their more exotic blitzes. But again, this is where it comes down to coaching. I mean, if your team is not capable of running a 2-minute drill in the pros, what are you doing? I mean, that's coaching malfeasance. Again, I love these guys. I love Dave Canales. I love these guys. But if you're telling me you can't run, and why are you not running it? How are you not running it when you're down 2 scores?
Yeah.
And then you come to the podium and say, because we're having too many penalties. So you're saying you don't know how to run a 2-minute drill without getting penalties. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's admitting that from a coaching standpoint, you can't get these guys to do that. I mean, high schools can run 2-minute drills. I get frustrated with this coaching staff.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
not.
simplistic stuff. It's simplistic. Running this, running that, penalties.
A tight end catching the ball within a yard of the out of bounds, and he's turning inside.
Right.
It's terrible fundamentals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not smart football.
It's not.
What are you teaching these guys? What are you telling them in practice? What are you drilling into their heads?
Why do we continue to see players, 5-yard penalties and procedural stuff that should be cleaned up in
They've
training
had
camp?
50 penalties this year. 20 of them have been pre-snap.
They're not good enough.
20 in 7 games.
They're not good
In
enough to
7
overcome
games.
that. They're not good enough to
No, they're
overcome
not.
that.
They're not. But again, this is what typically, if you see teams that do this, the typical thing people will say is that's a poorly coached team.
Correct.
You're not hammering it home in practice that you can't do this stuff, because good teams don't do it. Bad teams do it
over and over again.
Coaches are responsible for these type of things.
How-
You're either coaching it or you're allowing it.
How many plays?
I say this all the time.
How many plays did the Bucs make? And you basically,
Oh my God, the 45-yard play to Evans, which you have to eat up another 5 minutes of clock time.
It's a killer. You finally get a long run by White, and you get a call back because of holding. I mean, it just seems like a typical Bucs here, and I want to hear from you guys if you want to call on the phone line, 727-255-0391. Can this get cleaned up? Because I think it's a big-time case, and you got a great comment here. The worst part of the Bucs loss on Sunday will be that nothing will change because Bowles will still be coaching for his job. He's not going to play the youth. Bowles' biggest weakness is his loyalty.
100% to coaches and players.
Yeah.
To coaches and players. And so, when you get fired, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. You had opportunities to make changes.
Yeah.
I just – and again, we're not asking for 13 wins.
Correct.
And I'm not even asking for 9 wins. Just put some good stuff on tape, man. Show me you can stop the run. Show me you can have a game where you don't have major busts in coverage, where you don't have major penalty issues, where you can run a 2-minute drill, where you can, show me what is the game plan. What weakness are you attacking on the
Where
other team?
is your identity on both sides of the ball?
We're 7 games in. We don't even know.
Right. Well, you hear from Todd this week saying, we're a physical team. We want to run the ball. We want to basically punch somebody in the mouth. You're not that team. You haven't been that team for a while now. 3-1, maybe you can make that case. But if that's what you want to be, that's what you got to be. You've got to commit to the running game.
To say this team is physical, I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Hasn't been there. Will says, hopefully Canales continues to use White and the pass game, doesn't get stubborn with the run game. If it isn't working, in my opinion, this game will determine Bowles' fate as the Bucs head coach in 2024. Good stuff, Will.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Keith. Ohio State runs the Big Ten. Keith again. Ohio State loses to Michigan. Will stay in the top 4. Agree with that?
No. Are you out of your mind? Ohio State loses to Michigan. They'll stay in the top 4. No, because there's going to be 4 undefeated teams.
Washington's up there, right? Are they still?
And again, it also depends on how the game goes down.
Right.
Ohio State has wins over Notre Dame and Penn State. Did you watch the Penn State-Ohio State game?
It was terrible. Was
You
it
sound
right
like
up
you're an
there with
Ohio State
Atlanta?
fan, and I'll say, look, you've had some great offenses in the past. This is not one of them.
Right.
You can't even complete an out route to Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, come on. That Penn State Ohio State game set back football 50 years. That was horrible
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah.
You can't slant pass after slant pass. That's about the entire repertoire. It was awful. It was awful. And Ohio State doesn't have the run game that they used to have. I think I don't know anything about Michigan. I don't, because they chose not to play anybody in non-conference, and the people they played in their conference are not good.
Right.
So we don't know how good Michigan is. I think Ohio State's a good football team. I don't think they're great. I don't think, are they good enough for the playoff? I'd say no. I'd say there's 5 or 6 teams better than Ohio State right now. And I put my Florida State Seminoles up there as one of them.
I'd agree with you on
at
that.
least they can complete a 20-yard pass to someone other than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, you've got multiple wide receivers in Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, and you got all kinds of weapons, a plethora of weapons,
That's
as
right.
Leo would say.
Bell.
Yes. And you got a quarterback
Trey
who
Benson,
nobody's
Cole
talking
Feely.
about as a first-round player, and Jordan Travis, who's definitely improved his game the last couple of years.
I don't know
So-
if he's the first round. But
I think he's a
don't-
first-rounder. I think he
don't
may
even
be.
care at this point. He's a great college quarterback. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman, but he doesn't care about that. He
Right.
cares about winning football games. He's selfless. He's a tremendous leader. He's a tremendous runner, which he hasn't even really tapped into. There's a Knowles fan. Go Knowles.
Yeah, there you go. And I don't think he heard us.
Right on cue.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you
many
have
white claws.
Would you have a problem? Maybe. Would you have a problem with him being in a Bucs uniform? Say we're looking into it. Another Florida State quarterback, with the way you have crazy Gator fans out there looking for Trask. Would you have a problem with that? Would that be too much controversy for the Bucs to go after somebody like a Jordan Travis?
I don't. I watched Jordan play a lot. I'm not convinced that he would be a great professional quarterback.
Okay.
I wouldn't put anything past him because he's got great determination. He's made a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. He's made a few poor decisions this year that have spooked me a little bit as far as him as an NFL quarterback. I don't know if he has a big-time arm. He's a great runner. Again, a great leader. I don't know if he's a first-round pick.
Okay.
And I hate to say guys can play in the NFL or they can't, because there's too many examples of guys we've all thought can't play. Brock Purdy, who come out to be pretty damn good NFL quarterbacks. You just don't know.
You don't. You absolutely don't know.
Which is
All right.
why at some point, if you're not going to make the playoffs, we need to see Kyle Trask.
All right. Christian says, bring Harbaugh to Chicago. I thought that was going to be the fit there. You're thinking about
Seems
it.
a good fit.
Yeah. I mean, is it Justin Fields? Is that your quarterback?
Weird
Is
ass coach.
Well, you could develop
Terrible organization.
develop a quarterback, former Bear quarterback, could develop Fields, or you go after J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. He could be a first-round player. What do you see with him? J.J. McCarthy.
Good player, lively arm.
Yeah.
Can move. Yeah, I think he projects as a pretty good pro. There's a lot of good pro prospects in this draft.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. No excuses. Get it done. You're the OC. Sean says make him comfortable. Run plays he can take advantage of. I believe he's talking about Baker there. Donald says, I wish someone would ask why they don't take 4 or 5 shots down the field with Palmer or other speed guys. I think either it comes down to not having the time, or when you take those shots, and we saw this a couple weeks ago
You know
against
why?
Detroit.
I'll tell you why.
Okay, tell me why.
Because you're behind the sticks all game long.
Yeah.
You're first and 10, run, 2nd and 11, 2nd and 13. Now you got to throw a screen pass. You got to get some yards to have a manageable third down. You're 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. You got to run an intermediate routes to get the first down. It's like, when do you take the shot? You know when you take shots after an 8-yard run on first down?
Correct.
And it's 2nd and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. When do we have that?
You
Rare.
don't. You don't have that
Rare.
because your running
So,
game, or you can't do anything on first down because you're so committed to the running game, and you're only getting 1 or 2 yards a carry.
So it's easy to say,
Yeah.
we should take 5 or 6 shots a game. Well, when?
Yeah.
When it's 2nd and 13? No. When it's 3rd and 7? When it's 1st and 20? After the invariable holding call? I mean,
yeah.
So it's hard to do it when you don't have real good opportunities to do it. Should we do it more? Yes, I agree with that. He needs to loosen up the defense a little bit more, but just to blanketly say we should throw 5 or 6 shots a game, then you're leading to 3 and outs.
Who's due to have a big game this week? Mike Evans coming home to Houston. It's time for him to step up. He wasn't a part of that game plan against the Buffalo Bills. I wish I would have asked Dave today. I wish I would have said, give Mike Evans the ball a little bit more here because he's only like 6'5", 6'6". He's a mismatch nightmare, and I get it. He's not the fastest, but he gets separation.
As I recall, he had, 12 targets in that game?
Did he have 12? He had 12. It's like 3 catches for the total game. Yeah. And then Donald says Palmer wins jump balls. So, I mean, yeah, when you get it to him. But
it's not a bad idea. I'm not saying don't do it, but you got to have, the right timing to do these things, or else, if you're throwing deep balls, the completion percentage on those are, depending on the quarterback and the receiver, 25, 30% tops.
Yeah.
So you got to do it at the right time.
And to be fair, Baker's got to be more accurate. And I don't know if it's the knee injury. I don't know if it's the pressure getting to him and, from the offensive line. I don't know what it is, but he was more accurate, especially on third down. And that seemed to go by the wayside. Bucs fans, what do you think? 727-255-0391. Who is the biggest key to this game versus the Houston Texans? How do you feel about it? Are you confident? Get on the phone lines here on the JP Peterson Show live from the patio here, 421 McDill Avenue in Tampa. North McDill, right? Yeah, we use that.
South
GPS.
McDill.
South McDill, excuse me.
Yeah,
South
I'm
McDill.
sorry. Yes, so 6 targets for Mike Evans. He caught 3 of them. Godwin was targeted 7 times. Rashad White 7 times, caught all 7 of them. But Mike Evans typically has been, with about a 50%. I forget what game it was. It might have been the game before the Bills game where he had a good share of the targets.
Atlanta?
It's not as easy as people say, oh, let's just get him the ball.
Okay.
All right, so the defense obviously is going to try and take him away. And the defense is going to determine where the ball should go. That's what quarterbacks do. If you're going to call plays just for Mike Evans, all right, so if he's double covered on that particular play, should they still throw the ball? No. Is there ways to scheme him open? Yes. And that we definitely have to do more of that. I thought he would be in motion more. I thought he would be used in the slot more. Where have those plays gone?
Yeah.
So the defense, obviously, their number one goal is going to be to take Godwin and Evans away. So you have to be able to have an answer to that. And what is that answer? Trey Palmer? Is it Rashad White? Should be Rashad White. It should be the tight ends. Our tight ends are not good. So this is the problem that you run into. It becomes personnel. If you can't run the football in an offense that's based on play action and waggles and bootlegs, it's difficult to do.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Baker was right. This is a pass-first offense because they can't run the ball. Simple as that.
And it's the same thing as it was last year.
Your quarterback is directly contradicting what your head coach is saying.
That's a problem.
You may have Houston. We have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem. Hopefully it's not Houston. We have a problem this Sunday. So,
all right, we need to take one more break.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Take one more break, and then we'll come back and talk a little Bolts.
Okay.
Another big loss on the road last night for them. We'll tell you why. What's going on with the Bolts? We are right down here at the patio, 421 South McDill. The party will continue long into the night here on this fabulous Friday night under the palm trees. They call it the patio for a reason. Beautiful outdoor space. The weather is fantastic. $4 White Claws, $4 White Claw vodka drinks. Come on down.
Do you have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here live from the patio. What a lively group we have.
I'm telling you, it's loud here. I keep on seeing food come by, wings. You're buying me wings afterwards. Maybe some of the guy in the back there, he does a little food truck. He does a great job with wings, does a great job with they had a ribeye sandwich here last week. That was good.
Sandwich?
Oh, that was so good. Oh, my gosh. That was worth it, definitely. Yeah, so good food here at the patio. And, again, lively crowd.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your Tampa Bay Lightning last night. I don't know if you have the Cooper sound, but if not, that's cool.
No, I don't have a Cooper. I didn't have the Cooper sound, no.
So last night they lose 4-2, empty net goal. They have a third period lead once again, 2-1. 3-2. No, 2-1.
2-1.
That's right.
Yep.
So you're saying we got to hold on to this lead like we should have done against Toronto. This is the part of their game that's just a little mystifying right now. And Stamkos even said this last night. We've been put in this position multiple times, but sometimes we're like losing our identity in that third period. Sometimes I wonder if it's just a matter of effort. And it's like Coop said, it's just we just don't have the juice at times. We play 55 minutes of good hockey, 5 minutes of bad hockey, and it burns us every time.
Right.
And that seems to be a recurring theme. Now, again, this is a team that's still building, still, bringing in new guys, trying to find out who plays best with whom. They're almost on pace to get to 96 points, which is going to get you into playoffs every time. So I don't think they're behind the eight ball. They're not, they're not losing ground. They're just kind of right where they should be for a team that's still trying to find their identity and who's going to do what. And I think, Cooper will find that. They always do.
Well, and it's disappointing because, again, you talk about it. They're up 2-1. You got 22-16 advantage when it comes to shooting shots on goal. You got Stamkos, Paul, and Sherry playing out of their mind. In fact, I thought they had some really good shifts last night, especially Stamkos, who had an opportunity to score 2 goals there. Sherry scores his first off of the deflection there, which, comes back to haunt the Lightning in the third period, because I really don't think Tompkins could do that much with the 2 goals that he gave up, and then, of course, the empty netter. But you're exactly right. I mean, you look at how did the Lightning finish with the shots on goal? Was it like something 29? So you only had 7 shots in that whole period? I mean, that's not going to get it done. You've got to continue that effort. You got to play a full 60 minutes. And this team, for some reason, especially when it comes down to playing on the road this year, especially 0-3-1. And you got to get over that quick, because you got Ottawa Saturday night.
Yeah, they struggled on the road last year too.
Yeah.
So this is becoming a little bit more of a problem. And it just, once again, it kind of goes to just meeting the intensity of the other team, because obviously third period, the other team's behind. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to push, right?
Yeah.
They're going to push. They're going to turn up the intensity, try to get that equalizer. And that's where the Lightning have seemed to have problems. You felt it the other night against Toronto when they had 3-1 lead. It's like all of a sudden, it appeared that the Bolts had control of the game. They're playing well, and then the ice just tilts, and suddenly they're spending all the time in their own zone, and eventually they're going to get the goals.
It's like overtime. It really, like when this team goes to overtime, they can't win a face-off. They can't control the puck. They had great opportunity to win that game the other night, and again, I don't know how you do multiple opportunities, but the one there with point to Kucherov, you think Kucher's going to put it in for the winner, but it's got to get cleaned up. I mean, if you want to be a top team, especially in overtime, you're going to play overtime games. You got to control the puck more, and you got to come out with better effort. And it's not like you have, this universally young team. You don't. You have veterans on this team, so they got to start looking themselves in the mirror and start playing a lot better than what they are. I want to go out to Zach Mitchell here, our resident hockey fan. Loves the Tampa Bay Lightning, everything you do. If you don't know this guy right here, JP Peterson, Lightning Vision, not only this show, fantastic job with the fantastic organization. Great job, Jeff Ennick. Just need to play more sound defensively in our D zone. Guys are getting mesmerized, chasing the puck and losing their guy, which creates open looks for their guys. They're scoring on them. Cooper mentioned they switched their D scheme from zone to man, so this will happen if you're not tracking your man. Agree?
Yeah, wholeheartedly. Although I think they went from more man to more zone. I think it's the opposite way.
Okay.
But they're still learning it. And clearly, they're still learning how to do better. And I think they've also tried to match up more in terms of, instead of constantly backing up at the blue line, to if a guy's coming in your area, just stack him up at the blue line, challenge him at the blue line. Don't let them enter so easily and give them time and space. I think they did a lot of that in the third period against Toronto, and you just get back on your heels, and you just got to kind of, change that momentum and start challenging them. And this is something that I think they've had. I talk to Chief when I'm watching the games with Chief all the time, and it drives him crazy. These guys just continue to back off and play, the magic wand defense with the stick instead of taking the guy.
Right.
Take him out. Take the puck from him.
Yeah.
That's something I think this team could do a better job.
Agree. All right, let's go out to Zach. Stamkos was buzzing last night. Absolutely, Zach.
Yeah,
again, they are historically do not play well in the Sens barn. They need to play with some heart, or else they will get run out of the building Saturday night. And
that's a big game for them.
It is.
They need to, and Toronto is too. You got 3 games left on this road swing with 3 divisional opponents, and back-to-back Toronto and Montreal. They got to win one of those games. For God's sakes, I would like to see them win 2 out of 3 and at least get 3 points, 4 points out of those 3 games, because this road thing's getting ridiculous, and losing to Toronto is getting ridiculous as well.
Agree.
So they need to go into that barn and give one of their best efforts and show up. That's it.
Just show up. I mean, that's what it comes down to sometimes. Just showing up, playing a full, 60 minutes.
Who you are.
Yeah.
To play that Lightning game that we've come to know and love.
Yeah, you got to love this. It's a family affair here. My mom, she tunes into this show, tunes into my show, loves your show too. Michigan, the Big Ten, talking all the way. Watch number 1. They got this. Big-time Michigan fan. She thinks Michigan's got this with all the distractions. Wouldn't it be something with with all the distractions that are going on, that Michigan ends up winning a national championship, and then you have Jim Harbaugh walk out the door, go to the NFL, and then they get killed the next couple of years with suspensions and allegations and everything else.
If Michigan wins the national championship, first of all, I don't think they are, because they're going to have to play four good games back to back. Actually, 3 out of 4. They're going to have to play Ohio State, then whoever they play in the championship game, which I think they still have divisions, so it's going to be some Iowa team that literally can't move the football, and hopefully the Iowa State.
Well, yeah, you talk about Rocco Beck, playing quarterback. Yeah.
So, and then they're going to have to play, obviously, a semifinal game and then a final game. I don't think, we'll see. We'll see if Michigan's good enough to win 3 tough games.
I mean, it'll be the third time's the charm, because the last couple of years
in a row, by the way.
Right. They've been on the doorstep of winning a national championship. And, of course, they get their doors blown off by Georgia and then lose with some questionable calls there in that game, but still lose to a TCU team who had no business being in the national championship game in the first place. So,
well, they earned their way.
Yeah, they earned their way, all right. And then they lose to Colorado the first game of the season. How about that?
A much different team.
Yes. A World Series. I know you guys have been talking about that. Congratulations to Tim out there and his Rangers winning. And you talked about it on Twitter. I saw it. They spend money, they invest.
The last team to win the World Series with a payroll under $100 million, the 2003 Marlins.
Yep.
So spending money doesn't guarantee you're going to win the World Series. Not spending money guarantees you're not going to win.
Right.
That's the way that works.
Right.
All right, the college football schedule this week, noon. The noon window, you got Kansas and number 7 Texas, so a top 25 matchup there. 2:30, you got number 17 Air Force taking on Army.
Okay.
3 o'clock, Memphis and USF.
Yeah.
Be watching that one.
Absolutely be watching that one. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Memphis coming in 6-2. Are you betting on that game? Are you looking at that game and say, you think USF can pull this out?
What's the spread?
I don't know what the spread is.
Okay. Missouri and Georgia.
Okay.
In Athens. Number 14, Missouri at Georgia, 3:30 on CBS. And Bedlam, Oklahoma, number 10 Oklahoma, who lost last week to Kansas at Oklahoma State. 7:30, Washington, number 5 Washington at number 24 USC in the battle of future Buccaneer quarterbacks Michael Penix or Caleb Williams.
You still high on Caleb Williams?
Yeah, he's going to be a good player.
You think so?
I don't know. He's got all the skills.
With all the rumors, though, with him supposedly wanting part ownership, you're an owner. Besides Mark Davis.
Part ownership of an NFL team?
Yes, that was the talk, the rumor out there, that he would want part ownership. Is that overstepping your boundaries?
Yeah.
And if you're an NFL owner or general manager,
first of all, you can't do that.
Is that a red flag?
You can't do it. It's against the rules.
Right.
That's the first one. Second of all, if he ever mentioned that, it'd be the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard a player. Well, there's a lot of competition for that. That's just, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Anybody who even entertains that is moronic.
Again, just a rumor out there.
Players should play, coaches should coach, GM should GM, and owners should own.
Well, you know what it is. It's the NIL agreements.
Separate and distinct.
Right. Right. It's the NIL agreements. That's what it's doing. It's making these kids think that, they can make any deal at the end of the day. So
7:45, number 13 LSU at number 8 Alabama. That's going to be a hell of a game.
It is.
In Tuscaloosa.
Who do you favor in that game?
LSU is scoring, averaging about 50 points a game the last 5 games.
Wow.
Jane Daniels is phenomenal. By the way, another quarterback I would love to see in the Buccaneers uniform.
Correct.
That guy can run. He can throw. Alabama's been playing a lot better, but I don't know if they can stay with LSU's offense.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's going to be a
I
great game.
don't think they're the team that they've been the last couple of years. I think they're
FSU was at Pitt, who lost to Notre Dame last week, 56-7?
Should be a blowout.
Yeah,
easy blowout.
Yeah.
And then you got Miami after that.
Yeah. Which I will I will be there for that one.
You'll be there for that one, huh?
Huge thanks to our advertiser, Jeff Italiano, who was nice enough to give me his 3 tickets on the 45-yard.
Nice. Good
so
stuff.
Me, Cullen, and Ash are going up to watch FSU, hopefully in a night game. About 45, 50 degrees at kickoff.
Oof.
They have a nice little jacket on, a little hot toddy.
You wearing khakis?
I like khakis.
I do too. I like khaki shorts. I don't know about khaki.
You're a psycho if you wear that's all you ever wear.
Oh, yeah.
It's khakis.
He always
Every
wears
day of your
that.
life.
Yeah.
Your Dickies khakis.
It's beautiful out here. It's that type of weather, though. You can wear some shorts out. Can it stay like this forever? Can we just
Well, that would be California.
Well, yeah, I heard San Diego's like that.
Oh, San Diego.
Yeah.
Awesome. Absolutely beautiful.
74, 75 every
day.
Yeah.
That's why it costs $1 million for
Well,
a tutu.
there you go.
Yeah. In the hood. All right, I think that'll do it for us.
I think that will do it for us.
Great job, my friend. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Big thanks to the staff here at the Patio, 421 South Big Deal. Come on down. Watch games all weekend long right here. Drink specials all weekend long going on. We got White Claw here tonight, $4 all night long. Come on down to the Patio, 421 South Big Deal, about 3 blocks south of Kennedy. And tell them JP sent you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Bolts tomorrow night. Go Bucks on Sunday. Go Noles tomorrow. Go Gators against Arkansas, 4 o'clock.
Wow.
That's right. I said go Gators. Go USF.
Yes.
Against Memphis.
Yes.
Let's go.
Get it. Let's go.
And have a great weekend.